As I abandoned them.
Yeah, you're pretty lonely over here.
You blame them?
Dude, did you want to move back over here?
I've got a lot of room over here. I'll be real honest. Not pushed against the wall on a chair.
I call this meeting of the Perry Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members are present. This meeting has been duly called and notice this meeting has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Would you all pray with me, please? Dear Heavenly Father, we're so grateful for the many, many blessings that you brought before us. We thank you for the opportunity to serve. Thank you for the opportunity to serve, particularly in this community. Be with us as we go forward tonight, that we become the rock. We become the dependable rock that the community can depend on to guide and direct our schools. In a world of uncertainty, that's what we're looking for today. In thy heavenly name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Do we have anyone for open forum? Reports. We'll start with the superintendent's report.
Okay, I'm going to make my comments fairly brief because I do want to give, I've arranged for Huseman Builders to come and talk to us a little bit and give us an update on construction and some of our plans moving forward for Wright and the high school. But let me just bring you up to date on a few things. One is that our online registration is opening next week, so we should start getting enrollments. We should begin to see the students come in. We have made an effort to put as much online as we possible because we think that's customer friendly for our parents. So we're trying to pare down the things that they have to bring in or have to fill out on paper. So we put as much online as we can. There's still a few little things we have to take care of on paper, but we're paring that down. That's going to open up next week. We are just to give a couple of little shout outs. Let me start off with one. I'd like to shout out and congratulate and lift up our maintenance department, maintenance and custodial. The summer season is an incredibly busy time for them. They do an incredible job getting into our buildings, making sure they are deep cleaned all the way through, waxing the floors. I got to tell you, it's one of my favorite times of the year when I walk in after the floors are waxed and they are shiny and beautiful. And I know they'll be that way for about 2 days after school starts, but it's really nice to see. And they refresh them. They do a fantastic job of deep cleaning our buildings. Our grounds crew is one of the best grounds crews I've ever seen in any school district. They keep our grounds green and nice and mowed. Just very appreciative of our maintenance and custodial and their efforts. To help show a little appreciation for them, we're going to be cooking some hamburgers for them on the 25th at noon. You guys are welcome to come to that. If you would like, come grab a burger and say thank you to our maintenance and our custodial staff. Alan does a great job with his department, and so I want to spend a brief moment to recognize them. So, Alan, good job.
Thanks. Can you send us a note out before the 25th?
Sure.
Thank you.
Second group of people I would like to highlight is our coaching staff. And just an example, they have really stepped up in their efforts over this summer to help prepare our kids. As a prime example of this, our summer strength and conditioning program was started by Josh right back the second week in June, I think. Part of that is we have some paid staff for the summer strength and conditioning. We pay some of the coaches because it's their summer and they're off contract. So we pay some of them to come up and do summer strength and conditioning. And Josh and I talked about that, and we figured out how many positions that's going to be. And that we figured that would be about 8 positions, plus he and Ryan were up there. So about 10 positions total. I've got to tell you that we've had probably about 22 coaches up there every day. And everybody knows who's getting paid and who's not. But they've been dedicated enough to our kids that whether they're paid or not, they've been up there working with those kids. And I think that shows an amazing dedication of our coaches, our dedication to the kids. Josh has done a great job bringing in a structured program. I've talked to a couple of the kids over the weekend, just asked them how it's going. They said, we're very sore. We've worked harder than we've ever worked in our life, which I think is good for our program. And I think it's to help prepare our kids for their future athletic success. But all this was done by some of our coaches that Some of them are really just volunteering. Now I'm trying to find ways to congratulate them. One of the ways that I want to show appreciation to them is I've rented out the water park tomorrow for our coaches and their families so that they can come up and swim and relax. And I'm going to order a bunch of pizza for them because I think that our coaching staff this summer really went above and beyond without being asked. And so I want to reward that. So, Josh, thank you for putting in a structured program, and thank you to your people for their hard work. If any of you all want to come up and swim, Richard, if you want to don on your bathing suit and come on up, you can tomorrow.
Tempting.
All right. And finally, let's get to our construction. I've asked Huseman Builders to come in and just give us a brief update on how we're doing on construction. Not too deep, but also specifically talking about some of our plans for the high school. So Huseman Construction, Greg and Peyton and Stephen are here to talk us through.
Okay, well, I appreciate y'all having us back for this evening. We'll start out with Wright Elementary. We commenced construction on Wright July 1st, so it's just been a week so far, and it's already going great. We're already at schedule. We demoed most of our first little area that we're taking it by. We're taking it by 4 different areas. In phase 1, most of that's already demoed. And we've got all the asbestos abated, so we're looking to start doing some framing and some electrical roughing, all that probably start next week. So it's going according to schedule, and we feel really good about Wright so far. So I think Dan Summers, they've been doing a great job, just kind of keeping everybody lined out and coordinated. I think it's really going kind of how we planned. So we're feeling good about that. Yes. And our goal is to have each of these little 4 areas that compose phase 1 turned around within around 3 months or so. So we're trying to do that. So our phase 1 lasts about a year. That's what we're shooting for. But we'll keep posted. And moving on to the high school. The high school is going to lag the elementary by probably 2 to 3 months. So we're currently in design phase right now. We're probably, I think, 60-70% done on the design phase. We've got about 8 or 10 pages here from Steve of the architectural drawings that we can go through briefly if you'd like to see it. It represents a lot of updated finishes and some changes to the library. Phase 1 is really just a lot of classrooms and some restrooms. There's not a whole lot there's no new really. There's not a whole lot of things that aren't already just, they are what they are. So we're going to try to make what you have more functional and be planning towards the future phases where we're going to be putting back to new. And that's a lot of what this conversation is going to be about.
So in the same, let me just briefly, the same thing in the classrooms is what we've done in Wright Elementary. We're updating the walls, we're updating the cabinetry and the millwork, updating the electrical. Yes. So that there's more than 2 outlets in the room.
Yes.
Okay. So
and then updating restrooms to make them ADA accessible, and I believe most of those probably have a net positive effect on capacity right too. I think we're adding restrooms, so it should be overall great for performance. We're adding a lot of faculty restrooms. I can set this up here if we're talking about high school finishes for a second. This kind of just illustrates what we're thinking as far as cabinetry and marker boards and tack boards. A lot of it, as far as the marker boards and tack boards, is pretty similar to what y'all saw with elementary. We're looking at a primary and a secondary instruction wall, just in case teachers want to teach to one side or the other of the classroom. It's flexible, and we'll be planning on the primary as far as all of our data wire, but that can be pulled and relocated to open boxes that are going to be installed as well. Then the typical storage will be on the exterior wall, which we looked at this one here, and it has half adjustable open shelving and half upper and lower cabinets with a teacher's closet. We're looking for it to be pretty versatile for you, so it doesn't matter if it's going to be math class or an English class. You can have open shelving for the books, but you can also have countertops for your handouts and turning papers in. So that's what we're driving towards. We have another we're calling them design meetings, just trying to get teacher input on, I believe it's the 25th of this month. So we're looking to try to get most of the way there on our designs with that, and then come back to y'all maybe sometime in August to try to present a full set of plans and really be able to discuss that in further detail.
You'll be ready to go out for pricing.
Yes. Yeah. Steve, would you like to go through these plans a little bit, maybe discuss some areas a little bit like library and some restaurants? Sure.
Which one is this?
We got site plan first and then floor plan.
Pardon me?
Oh, that's your set.
Yeah. Okay. So we are represent site plan of the facility. Shows the open courtyards, shows the area between the buildings. This is existing. The parking lot. Okay. The represents the revised floor plan. And what you'll see is that we have revised bathrooms. We have both here and over here on this set two. It'll be more handicap accessible, no doors on the hallway side, but yet did you print that larger sheet or no? No, you didn't.
We would have a large.
Yes, so you can't, there's no peekaboos, looking into the bathroom, no doors. All the classrooms are lined with new stud walls, insulated walls. We put our electrical jacks in there, communication outlets, etc. New walls, it'll look new. All the walls will be finished out new. We're creating the same type of hallways that we are in the elementary, more to keep it looking like it's not such a long tunnel, if you will. We're kind of breaking that up with some ceiling changes in ceiling and lintels. The library is taking on a new change. What we've done here is taken out the office, this location, turn these two rooms into basically the IT service area. It includes the server and the IT office. The new office will be located over here for the library, which will be adjacent to the tutoring center and the computer maintenance area that we've created in that two long narrow rooms that used to be there. See, new restrooms up here. Well, actually, these are refurbishing the ones there. These two will be the new faculty restrooms up in that location. And
We're adding a hallway for egress right here.
Yes, that's correct. This does not meet code, so it's dead end quarters, so we've added a new order there. One thing I'm critiquing myself on this is I think we need a faculty restroom in this area.
Which we're also talking about maybe doing that.
Oh, yes, that's right.
With the,
That's correct.
whatever.
That's right. I forgot about that. So that's basically it for the floor plan.
Where was the IT before you put it here?
The IT was actually located, the server is not changing.
Okay.
There was some area over here, I believe, where the computer was, but all this basically really was all right there. So we're just kind of cleaning it up and making it. She was also using that as storage. We don't want that.
The cable routing will stay approximately the same.
That's correct.
It's just a matter of administration of the servers in a
Right.
different spot.
Yeah, that's all right there.
Okay.
And we also have a Chromebook and book storage area here. So as far as talking to the librarian, she said that a lot of times on test days they'll be passing out Chromebooks, so they'll have some work to do there. So we're looking at trying to have maybe some sort of service countertop store or something out there to where she can interface with students there in that main hallway and make sure their Chromebooks are taken care of.
We've chosen had to draw a line somewhere on what phase one would be. So basically, we're going to finish this half of the wall, and this will be on phase two, this side of the hallway. So this side of the wall probably will not be finished, correct?
We're looking at maybe having the temporary wall running down there. hallway just.
So the family
Provide
consumer
access.
science will eventually have a revamp. Obviously, the new offices will have a revamp. So all this will be in phase 2, and I think up in this too is phase 2. Represents the new cabinet and room finish schedule. I think we'll be probably going through that come the 25th of this month again with the faculty at the high school. This represents the reflective ceiling plan. It does not show the diffusers and the light fixtures on it yet. This is kind of what I had in mind for the library, kind of some clouds, if you will, kind of take that zigzag feeling out of there and kind of do some unique geometrics in there. This is already like it is, it's a flat ceiling on that side.
With everything else just kind of.
And and this also shows the 4 windows that are located in the classroom, much like we're doing at the elementary school. That's up for grabs also, I think, depending on what we want to do with the scorecard.
I believe everything else is just kind of a detail, right? There's not a lot else as of right now, but kind of segues into what Steve mentioned about possibly keeping these windows in here. And we can speak with Craig Brown about this as well.
Yeah, let me kind of sneak in here if you don't mind. Okay, so one of the things we want to start talking to you guys about is this. This is a proposed. We've been thinking about making a little change here in just design. When I look at this, this section right here was really a courtyard that didn't. I don't see a natural use for that. We could probably make a use out of it, but when we add that, this had to do with our culinary, and I think it was adding a whole dining room. I don't know that that's the best use of that space. And then this was just updating the portable that is bricked in. When we look at this, well, let me just show you how a different idea. It's come from some conversations and some suggestions. So I want to begin to talk to you guys about doing something along these lines. The high school would rather have some more classroom space. So if we took this was the old courtyard, this is where the bricked in portable is. If we took this out and actually brought it into the building, so everything becomes enclosed. We would have where this is going outside to the other portable, this becomes a hallway. Everything becomes in the building now. But here's the current science classes, and where that courtyard is, we would build some additional classrooms here. And here, special ed area would still be in this where the bricked-in portable is, but it would become actual classrooms on the ground rather than just a portable that you have to step into and step outside and go to. I think this is really a better use of the space. I think it will fully incorporate this side of the building into the main building. It provides us the extra classroom. It provides us some space for some bathrooms down here for this area. To me, this makes a little more sense than the others. The others seem to be individual kind of siloed ideas that didn't integrate real well. This, to me, integrates into the building a lot better and becomes much more usable space. Now, the problem is this is new construction. So in order to get this, we have to give up as far as budget. So what we'd be giving up making classrooms out of this courtyard. And we'd be probably giving up the expansion of the cafeteria. Now, suggestion that's come from Houston Builders is go ahead and make this more of an outdoor meeting space that we could use for a cafeteria. We could use for kids going outdoor to eat when the weather's good. It could also be used for classrooms if they wanted to go out and meet in
You're talking about the courtyard area.
this courtyard area.
Okay.
Yes, we still have the cafeteria here, but this courtyard area becomes not an inside cafeteria, but still a usable space. So that's, and you guys, see if there's anything else to talk about that. That's just an idea we've kind of come up with, and I think it integrates into the building better.
Safety wise, it should be a lot better. I
Yeah.
like the idea of tying all that in because it always, I think you hit it dead on when you said it just looks like individual ideas that were put together there on that north side, that nothing really ties together with all that wasted space where you've got the science class 1 through 4 now. It's just open area into that. It's really just a
lot of wasted space.
little portable building that looks pretty from the outside, but once you get in, I'm not sure what kind of longevity we have on that special ed building.
And even from the front, I think this is going to give us a better look. It doesn't have this little appendage out here. It just will be one seamless building all the way.
Aesthetically, it should be like that. I like that idea.
What I had
So-
in mind on that science quadrant there is two classrooms per lab. We have basic, well, I mean, each classroom would have a lab. In other words, you can see the science 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you have lab 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I think you can probably, I don't know which, I guess each individual one has like a physics lab or a chemistry lab or a biology lab. But
Anything else I can tell you about this? It would still be, one accessibility wise, it gets better to me because we would still have, right now you have to go outside and come over here to this door, and I think we could create it so that there's more, we were talking about having a hallway here, right? So this becomes directly accessible down this main hall. So it's almost like one of these wings here. It just becomes another one. So it's just more accessible to get to rather than having to go all the way around here or going outside and making your way through there. One of the reasons we wanted to bring this up today is because in phase 1, as they're working on these classrooms, they need to know if we're going to leave the windows here. Instead of, like, if this were going to become classrooms, then there wouldn't be any windows here. But if this is something, and we don't have to know tonight, but we need to pretty well know which direction we're leaning, so that they know, and they can even put, I guess, like placeholders for windows in here if we needed to. So there's still some options if it could go either way. But if we talk about this and we decide that we like this and want to do that, then they'll have to keep these windows and make sure that there's windows here in these spots.
those windows will be upgraded.
And a lot of the teachers really want to keep as many windows as possible.
Natural light is
I
something the
would
kids
say-
really like.
If we can keep windows where we can keep them, let's keep them.
That's what I was
Anywhere around the outside edges if we could. I mean, I just think it's important.
The classrooms that we're gonna be, the other classrooms that we're gonna do right there, we didn't have any specific
Right.
classroom for that, right? It wasn't science, it wasn't math, it was just extra classrooms for.
I was told it was going to be special ed,
Okay.
mainly just they'd have access to this parking lot. But I think that if special ed is going to stay kind of in this area, we can also work on access here. So it's an easy access for them.
So would you want an access from our new wing to this parking lot out here?
Yeah, probably somewhat easy right here. Somewhat easy access because this is special ed. Oh, not necessarily.
Okay.
More this side is where we can access from this side.
I think it'd be nice to move the pickup to that north side to get the congestion off of Jefferson.
Mhm. And the sped pickup also.
Did we need more room in the cafeteria?
If we're going to start closing campus for grade levels, we will. But that seems to be the feeling I've gotten when I've talked to the high school is that's not a high priority.
I realize cafeteria is phase 2, correct?
That has
One of the-
two entrances on and stuff. Oh, sorry.
One of the things that Ms. Walker talked about last month was the margin value of the concession, or not the concession, but the snack bar area. Jed and I talked about this the other day. We just want to make sure we keep a focus on ease of access and potential expandability of that snack bar area. If we're looking, if that's where kids are wanting to grab their foodstuffs and they're wanting to spend hard-earned cash on that, and those are high-margin products for the school, we should keep that in mind, that that's a direction we want to make flow easily from a retail standpoint.
And we still in phase 2 want to work on concession stand this area here.
Yeah, because the flow in there right now is
Yeah,
not
it's really
great
weird.
for sure.
Don't want to make it hard for people to spend their money.
Get them 2 registers in there.
Okay. Any questions or comments, you guys?
What are we doing? I know that you guys have already started it right. Have we taken pictures to put on our website or on Facebook or anything?
No, haven't yet, but
Okay. Well, I know that people are interested,
thank
so
you for the
I think it'd be
reminder,
great for the community to keep them updated, even if it's
Absolutely.
tore out and it looks
Pretty
bad.
trashy right now.
Well,
sometimes
that's progress. That's
If
progress.
it showed them that, you know, hammers are flying.
Thank you for that reminder. We'll get something out for that. Definitely want to keep our community updated on what's happening and what it looks like. Any,
Sounds like we're heading in the right direction.
So would you like me to kind of formalize the design over there on the north side? And then present it to the board whenever?
Have a better preliminary design.
Yeah, it's just a one-line drawing. I mean, it would include restrooms and
Does that have?
it would include culinary arts. It would,
What was your question, Jeff?
It looks like this went back to the 2 entrances instead of the single.
I think it was the existing plan
yeah,
that we were just drawing off of.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't believe there's any
Oh, okay.
real motor behind that.
Because I was curious, I mean, how much of a cost is that going from changing the 2 existing up to making it a single?
I'm not quite sure. So you're saying going from this entrance and that entrance? to just-
No, the 2 front entrances.
Oh, I
to
see.
this
Oh,
to what was
You're going
planned
to
over
the
here.
Single in the
I
middle.
Yeah.
see. Well, we're already going through here and redoing the office and adding
Yeah.
construction there, so I'm not sure. It's fairly material. I think
As we
it'll
go
already
forward,
torn up.
as we go forward and, work on the preliminary for phase 2, that's a decision. When we get to the preliminary, and once we finish the construction plans for phase 1, then we'll start on the preliminary stuff for phase 2 and start on construction. For that. We'll have to go to that preliminary design before we actually start the construction.
So a fall conversation or something like that, fall, early winter.
Yeah.
Conversation.
Yeah.
But if you're leaning that way, then we kind of make provisions in phase 1.
But there's just been some conversations about the cost of everything we're doing up front versus classroom space, and sure like to make sure we analyze what dollars are we trading off on that before we get something checked off the final.
A lot more happening in phase 2 than 1.
Yeah, they're gonna have a completely new facade as well, so it's covering up doors isn't really that big of a deal, but if we do that.
Yeah.
And if we're already, tearing out the forward, then they can really go back with a lot of confidence.
Well, and that's what, just with that access, whenever we're doing anything in the auditorium or gyms, just this going, I mean, if we were still doing this kind of stuff, it'd be one thing, but this entrance is pretty geared towards that end of the building pretty easily, so when we're not, regular school days, it doesn't need to be used anyway, so.
Yeah.
That'd be my only.
Okay. And we can keep on discussing that in our phase 2 design as well. But, really just with the windows consideration here, that's kind of why we're just wanting to see if this is a concept we're pursuing.
Sure.
Just because that would really be the only thing that would affect phase 1.
Yeah. Well, but then y'all were talking about taking the triangle roof out, like that's over that would be over that north entrance that goes over the library
We wouldn't
too.
be taking it out. We just
Maybe
making
some
it
kind of
look
ceiling.
not
Okay.
dragged out in the front.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so just trying to kind of change the
You
ceiling
kind
a
of
little
see,
bit.
right? Keep that in mind for that.
I guess for the lesson.
Just the front to cover the angles.
Right. Now, if you hear it, it'll be over on this side. Yeah, that's good. It'll be different.
Pretty quiet over there, Richard.
Experts are all talking.
One last thing I can really say about this concept as well is, we've probably had 3 design meetings at high school now. Steve and I had a couple of one-on-one meetings, I guess a couple of full days with individual teachers trying to get their input for their specific and that's kind of where this came from. Is we had some time between one-on-one teacher meetings, and we just tried to just throw some lines on the paper and see if there's a better way we could fit some needs there. So that's it's really, I think, a pretty organic design, and it's really kind of coming from the users of that space as well.
I like that concept.
How big are those classrooms? I mean, there's plenty of space there, right?
These classrooms would be bigger than the existing. I'm not sure.
Perfect.
But as far as the design, phase 2, versus 1 entrance versus 2, we'll be doing some preliminaries and bring those to you to get some decisions before we start on construction plans.
Okay, well, thank you. Feel free to reach out if there's any more questions or if you like it.
Our goal passed, once we get phase 1 of the high school priced out, and get it going, then we'll probably start a conversation about the concession stand restrooms.
Okay.
And
for
and some
football
playground
field.
equipment at the elementary.
We were talking briefly about that this afternoon, to try and get started on those. We know we'll have to go through this football season without them, but don't really want to do another one without them. So. Okay. Any questions, comments, guys?
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks, you guys.
Do you have resignations to talk about?
There's 2 resignations. One is James Myers. James Myers is going to take a job teaching theater in the Fort Worth area. And TK Aruda, our junior high choir teacher, has resigned. She is going to be doing some online teaching. So sad to see both of them leaving our district. And who knows, I keep crossing my fingers and putting my praying hands together that maybe we'll see them back at some point. So that's going to be some challenge for us in the next month. They're 2 good ones. Yeah.
Anything else?
That completes my report.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Brown.
Mr. President.
Director's report. Start off with Mr. Kemp. You wore your fingers out on this one. There's a lot of good information here that we're going to need to try to figure out how to make budget. We've talked about this. I've been on this board a long time. We've talked about this for a long time.
Drove by the ag farm. It looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Very noticeable.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good plan on keeping those weeds down, and it's much better.
Get closer and
Yep.
Okay, thank you, sir. Food service. I didn't see Ms. Walker, but she sometimes hides. Nope.
Okay.
IT department, I did see Ivan. There he is. Sitting right in front of me.
The only update I have is the Wi-Fi for the buses. The installation is scheduled for next Monday.
Okay, cool.
Fun.
Any questions?
Thanks, sir. Well, I like your picture in here in attachment A. Because I like your picture in here in attachment A. That's the way a server box and a switch is supposed to look. We had some pictures a couple of years ago that weren't necessarily that neat and tidy. So thank you. Transportation, Mr. Felix.
Yes, sir. I have nothing to add unless y'all have any questions.
Okay, we're good.
Thank y'all.
Thanks. We may beat the 8:58 pool time on the meeting. Ranger Roundup.
I don't think Desiree is here.
So we have, her report is there for your reading pleasure. Communication and safety.
The only thing I have is on safety. We had our summer meeting today, and after lunch, we did over the minutes we had, so don't have questions on that.
Okay. Coach, what else do you have for us?
Nothing on there. Y'all can read through, but I added kind of where we're at with our summer strength and conditioning program. We started our 5th week today. So week 5 and 6 is still workouts for us, and then we max out in week 7. And week 7 gets us a week right before we start 2 days. So we're getting closer and closer. August 5th is the date for football, cross country, volleyball as a start up there. The camps, you can see I listed all those out for you where we're at. There's a few that we have girls basketball and boys basketball that's going on right now up at the high school this week. And then the next big one will obviously be football will come there August 29th. We'll start with that. And so then I provided you a list of hirings. Unfortunately, we're still not completely done, even though there's a long list. We've shuffled. Not everybody on there is brand new. We've shuffled a few people around and filled them into spots that we think they're going to benefit us. And so we have a few more that we need to try to make, but things are progressing pretty well for us in our athletic department from where we were a couple months ago. So,
Coach, what spots are still open that we're looking for?
We shared, Dacey's been helping me a lot with this stuff, but we have a high school history teaching job that's tied to football and basketball. We've got a junior high coaching position on the boys' side. That's a history teaching spot. That's all 3 sports down at the junior high. And then we have we really are in need of probably another coach, but we'd have to be really creative and maybe trying to get a 3rd boys coach down there. But we started back on contract today. All of those sports that I said were starting on August 5th, that's similar around the state. And so it's crunch time, unfortunately. And so I don't know where we'll get to in some of these spots we're trying to fill. So we've made plans to adjust accordingly if we don't get it. So, but those are 3 that we have right now.
Other questions? Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Curriculum and instruction. Okay.
I really don't have anything to add. I've just included the PD trainings that we have scheduled when we come back to school. I believe Mr. Brown on our convocation day has asked some of our surrounding areas if they want schools to participate with Doug Curry of How to Train Your Llama. That was a huge success for the district last January when he came out. So when we did a survey, it was overwhelmingly they wanted to hear him again. So we're going to hear How to Train Your Llama 2.0 for sure. But anyway, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Does he demonstrate with live llamas?
Well, he did not in the first one. I am anxious to see if we get to see that demonstration.
Bet you we can find one.
Do we have anything new on Star?
No, sir, we do not have anything new to start.
Thank you.
Other questions? Thank you very much. CFO's report, Ms. Morales.
Not too much different than last month. We should still end with a decent fund balance at the end of this year. So y'all start thinking of ideas if y'all want to designate a certain portion of that for something for next year, or just put it in fund balance for a rainy day.
Give me a definition of decent.
Don't hold me to it, but about around $500,000, despite the hiccups we've had in revenue and everything.
That's good.
Of course, we budgeted with 1850 ADA and ended at 1744. So not ideal, but it is what it is. So I'll be budgeting at about 1750 ADA for next year. And we'll get into all of those details here in a little bit after dinner.
Good, thank you.
That's about it. And our auditors will be here the 30th of this month. So. Get ready for that. Yeah. Not much going on.
That's a little early for them, isn't it?
Yeah, they come and do a one-day kind of pre-audit, and then
They're not coming to personally count inventory on 8/31.
no.
I'll loan you some of mine. They do. Other questions? Thank you very much. Lost my page. Board will now convene in a closed meeting to discuss the following items posted on our agenda this evening as allowed by Texas Government Code. Personnel matters, section 551.074. Security devices, section 551.076. Attorney consultation, 551.071. No voting will take place in the closed meeting. Any action the board wishes to take as a result of discussion in a closed session will take place after the board reconvenes in the open meeting. It is now 6:42.